So Isaac, you tried registering for an appointment to get the vaccine on the Chaz Health website today. First of all, just kind of walk me through what your experience was like on the website.
Well, when I was first expressing my experience, I said it was disastrous, and that was probably more a reflection of my frustration. There were a lot of issues, and hopefully I can provide some feedback. I worked in the IT field for 20 years, started out as a manager of web developers, so I may be a little picky about the things I see, but those were things that added to the frustration. We were told everything was ready for everyone to go in and get on. Was a little skeptical, and indeed that turned out to be the case because it took about 20 minutes before I could even get the page to load where I could start doing something. And by the time I got to the place where I could, schedule, there was a question about what my insurance was. And I was told, I was prepared for that because the news kept saying, have that insurance information ready. But I'm on Medicare, so the insurance had 3 fields: type of insurance, for me, Medicare, policy number, and group number. But Medicare doesn't have a group number. So unless I put a group number in there, the page wouldn't advance to the next page. So I just tricked it. I put a 0 in there and it went. Okay, but maybe other people wouldn't know that. So that's something I think web developers should take into account, that not everyone has a group number on their insurance policy. And lastly, I picked the time that I wanted to go and get the shot. And then I was taken to another page. I think it was My Care. It's a page where they have, Chaz has all the patient information and patient records. Well, I had to either sign in or register. Since I didn't have a Chaz account, I started the registration process. And then it's when even more problems happened. Some of the drop-down menus wouldn't work, like the example, the one for gender. And because that wasn't filled or complete, it wouldn't let me advance to the next page. And so, I kept trying and trying and trying. And finally, the drop-down would appear magically, and I was able to move on. And some fields, like adding my mobile phone number, it kept saying it was an invalid mobile phone number. And I kept entering it, and it was invalid. So I kind of kept waiting it out, kept trying, and finally it took it. So there's something sort of sticky about those 2 pages as well. But then when I was about to complete the registration process, step 4 for which enter a security question and an answer, then it just hung up completely. The little icon just started spinning and spinning and spinning, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally I said, okay, I'm going to refresh the page. Well, that was a mistake, and I thought it was probably going to be because it kicked me out like that. So I started all over again, and lo and behold, it said that my username already existed. I said, maybe I'm in there. So I got back in. And the funny thing was, then they wanted you to schedule the appointment that I just scheduled on the first web page. They had you schedule it again. Doesn't make sense. Why would they have you do it twice? But at this point, I was making progress. But there was some difficulty with advancing the pages there. And so I just kept trying. At one point, I thought maybe it was a browser issue. I'm using a Mac, so I had Safari. So I switched over to Firefox. Actually, I had better luck on Firefox than Safari.
How long would you say it took you to get through the process from start to finish and finally confirm your appointment?
It was about an hour. Yeah, I started right at 9. And like I said, it was 20 minutes before I could even get to the page where I could start making selections and entering information. And that's when I ran into difficulties advancing to the next page because it wouldn't accept the information, and then I got kicked over to the other side and then started registering and got kicked out of that a couple of times. So the whole process took about an hour.